What is up? What is up? Welcome back to another NFL Rundown brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Bets and Run Pure Sports. I'm here today with Tyler, and of course, it's Friday. That means it's the props edition. And yeah, I know we're a little late, Swati, but we're here with the winners. So better late, better late with winners than on time with losers. So that's the way we're doing this. Tyler, how you feeling today?
Oh, we're good. We split the picks yesterday. We missed the Deshaun Jackson touchdown. You got that 60-yard bomb and just didn't
What
run
was
it
he
in.
doing? Did he just run out of
I think
gas?
he ran out of energy.
I
And
thought he
then
did
Cooper
too,
Cup got
man.
up over that 84.5, but
Oh
yeah, or
yeah,
not ready for Sunday.
yeah. So, all right. Yeah. Did you have any other thoughts on the game last night? I mean, it's just,
Not
it's kind of
really. I mean, it was a boring game.
for the detractors of
Physical.
Thursday night football. I thought that it was like a good example because it was 3 days just isn't enough to turn around and really get the game plans ready and be ready to go. I mean, the guys look beat up out there. They look slow. It looked like the game plans were kind of just thrown together. But that's what it is with Thursday night, and with them going to 18 weeks, I don't know why these teams aren't taking their bye before they play each other on Thursday night. But that's neither here nor there. The Rams move ahead once again. Could be the end of the line for this little Seattle run. They might need to blow this up, and let's see how that goes. New York Jets are heading to Atlanta. No, they're not. They're both heading to England to face off. Atlanta's considered to be the home team, though. This will be on at 9:30 your time, 6:30 a.m. for me, Tyler. I'll be having some coffee and some Atlanta Falcons. I don't know if that's a good combo, but we will find out. This opened at 4. The the Jets have taken a lot of money here. It's down to 2.5 right now, and I think that's due to the Falcons missing Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage, right, Tyler? So what does that mean for the props?
I mean, looking at him, I really wasn't going to target anything on the Atlanta side anyway because Matt
Okay.
Ryan's dust and the offensive line can't block anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jets defense has actually been pretty solid this year. So the only thing I'm going to be targeting this game, I think Jamison Crowder, he bounced back last game in his first game back.
Mm-hmm.
Probably definitely the number one receiver on this team. You can get him plus 190 to score a touchdown. His receiving yards are 52.5. I think you get both of those.
All right. So we are going with sorry, I was just tweeting it out right now. Let me write that down again. Who is it again?
Jamison Crowder touchdown and over 52.5.
Crowder anytime TD. Is there a good price on that?
Plus 190.
All right. So are you going to be up early watching this one, Tyler, or are you just going to skip it?
I'll probably be up. Still be laying in bed, but
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if I make it up on time for that. But I'm going to be on the Jets. We've talked about it all week, and a little worried is it's might be the most public dog here so far as taking the money. But we'll go through the rest of these numbers, and we'll see if maybe there's one that I'm overlooking. But hey, if you want to lay off that game, I don't think there's any reason to. And it's just funny to me that if we're trying to get the English to like our brand of football, why are we sending them the Falcons and the Jets? Right? That's not a very good advertisement,
sending
right?
them two terrible teams.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the New England Patriots who are heading down to Houston to take on the Texans. Texans are catching 9 here. I think I might hold my nose and take the Texans at +1 here. The total is down to 39.5, and I actually like the points more than taking the under. And I think they correlate, of course, because if it's a low-scoring game, those 9 points are going to be a lot more valuable. Tyler, what are your thoughts for this one?
I mean, looking at this one, I think New England just comes out. Their defense just clamps down. It's a rookie quarterback for Houston, and he stinks. So
Yeah.
we all know how Belichick handles those situations.
Mm-hmm.
So just Davis Mills unders here for me. Outside of that, nothing really.
Do you have the number on it?
I believe it was 198.
Again, after he put up 87 yards?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be joining you on that one. I think I think that that could cash, and I could still get the +9 there. Because I don't know. What do you think of the Patriots offense here? Am I that crazy here for thinking that the Texans can cover this?
I mean, not really. They have some offensive line problems on the Patriots side. And
yeah, Wynn's going to be
they
out.
haven't been running the ball that well, and that was supposed to be what they did.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how they do it there. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them get like 2 pick sixes this game.
Yeah, of course, that would sink me there. So we'll see how well Mills does taking care of the ball. But you're not looking for another big game out of him, so you're going under with him again. And like we mentioned, only 87 yards passing last week in the shutout loss to the Bills. The Detroit Lions head to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. This actually was moving closer to 9 now too, as no one seems too anxious to back the Lions, and that made sense to me. But boy, as it's creeping out, if you didn't take the Vikings already, I can't see you laying at this number. Total's right around 50 there. Tyler, what are you looking at for props?
I think Minnesota's in a smash bar right here. I think they just blow Detroit out. I mean, this team could easily be coming into this game undefeated with all the ways they've lost these games, missed field goals,
they're pretty
fumbles
creative.
in overtime, and then a 14-7 game against Cleveland. But they have no corners. Justin Jefferson should eat today. The yards are 82.5 and the touchdowns minus 105. I like both of those. And Dalvin Cook's rushing.
What's the Jefferson numbers again?
Minus 105 and over 82.5.
Minus 105 is the anytime touchdown,
anytime
right?
touchdown.
Sorry, my computer's going a little slow. And then over at 80.5?
82.5.
Oh, 82.5.
And then Dalvin Cook's rushing yards are at 67.5, but we don't know how much he's going to play. So it's kind of like a wait and see on his approach, because that number could just be a gift at the end of the day if he plays like 19 carries. But
yeah, on the sprained ankle, though, it would make sense to just stay away from that one. Unless you get confirmation like Sunday morning, you see him out there just sprinting around looking fine. Even then, I'm wondering, especially in a blowout, how much work they'll be looking to get him. Seems to me like this would be an easy one to let him play, but also let him rest. So I definitely like the Jefferson ones a little more. Let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles heading to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Eagles a little bit of a public dog so far, as this line I think moved from 4 to 3 there. Tyler, are you surprised the Eagles took a little money in this situation?
I mean, not really. We just watched them score how many points on the Chiefs. Everyone's going to take that as like they can play some offense, but the Chiefs have one of the worst defense. So
yeah,
I don't see it.
Yeah. So open at 4. It's down to 3 right now. Total's 45.5. I lean the Panthers here, but not enough to get involved here. The Eagles, we talked about the Pats offensive line being bad. Eagles are also in a tough situation with their offensive line. So that being said, where are the winning props going to be found here, Tyler?
I mean, this one's tough because you still don't know if McCaffrey's going to play. So they really don't have any Carolina numbers listed.
I'm almost positive he's out.
They said doubtful, but he practiced this week, so they have no numbers listed, so I can't really do anything with it.
All right, let's stay away from that.
And the Philly side, I mean, they've already burned me once, and I'm not going back to that side.
Okay, that's fair. So we'll stay away from this one, and maybe check the sheet, because if McCaffrey is either ruled in or out, Tyler might be able to find an edge there. But with that being unknown, we're not going to get involved early. We're not going to play roulette with this game. The New Orleans Saints are now heading to Washington to take on the football team. What did this line move to? The Saints out to -2.5. I think that moves right, man. We believed in Washington, and they haven't shown us anything. What have they shown us? The only thing that you could say to defend us is like, hey, when we were high on Washington, right? We were high on Fitzpatrick, and he hasn't been out there. But the defense hasn't been the defense that we've expected. The Saints are Jekyll and Hyde, coming off a pretty bad performance. I expect them to bounce back here. I like the Saints, but I'll be fine if I don't bet another Saints game for a while. With the whole Jekyll and Hyde deal. So
yeah,
I'm fine staying away from the side. I lean the Saints there, and probably lean the over with the way that Washington can't stop anybody. So what props are you looking at here?
I mean, this one's tough because you never, just like you said, you never know what Saints team's going to show up.
Right.
But I mean, their defense has been so bad this year. I don't hate Kamara over 82.5 rushing yards, because if they grapple 8, he's just going to eat the ball on the ground. I mean, outside of that,
what about our guy McLaurin?
I mean, he's going to be taking on Marshawn Lattimore. And when he took on Tre'Davious White a few weeks ago, he didn't do that well. So I really don't want to get in that pathway. But
all right, good matchup knowledge there.
Outside of that, nothing really else in this game.
Okay. Yeah, no worries there. And I think a lot of people are going to be staying away from this. I'll bet you the handle's pretty low, right? I think a lot of us probably feel the same way that you and I feel about the Saints. Like why are we getting involved with this team, you know? So real interesting to see where they go from here. Obviously a little disappointing performance by Jameis Winston and that offense last week. Tennessee Titans head down to Jacksonville to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are embracing the grind down in Jacksonville. They're having so much fun with that. Tyler, how do you think the team responds to all this controversy?
I think they should just fire him at this point, but that's just me.
Do you think it's overblown by the media, or do you think that there's really we should really be downgrading the Jacksonville Jaguars in our handicap because of all this?
I mean, if your players are laughing at your coach, I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah, first I was thinking it's overblown, but it's like some of these reports I'm getting, maybe not. So I'm fine completely staying off this game here. Titans -4, and do you have the status? AJ Brown practiced, Julio Jones did not. Was what I saw from yesterday. I don't know what happened out in Tennessee today. What are you hearing for those wide receivers, and how are you approaching this game from a pop perspective with the receivers being unknown?
I think AJ Brown will be in there.
Okay,
but I mean,
but you expect him to be like 100%, or are you downgrading like his?
He probably won't be
100%,
but if he plays, he'll still be effective.
Okay.
But outside of, looking at this game, Derrick Henry always chews up the Jacksonville Jaguars. 113 is a high prop to set, but he probably goes over that. And then looking at the anytime touchdowns, Dan Arnold was just into town in Jacksonville last week for 3 days before that game, before he was traded. So he gets another week of practice. I think it's a good spot for him to catch a touchdown. I don't hate that. And then I like Josh Reynolds on the Tennessee side because they're still going to have to throw the ball to somebody else other than A.J. Brown, and his anytime touchdowns plus 450.
So Josh Reynolds, ATTD?
Yeah.
Plus 450?
Yep.
He was on the Rams last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching him out there. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I'm fine staying away from this game. Is Urban Meyer going to be the first coach fired?
I'd hope so. It's either going to be him or Matt Nagy.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's worse?
I couldn't even tell you right now. Probably Nagy.
Yeah, I'm thinking he is too. So we'll see how that turns out. The Miami Dolphins catching 10 points in Tampa Bay. The Dolphins, of course, coming off another disappointing loss. I thought they were going to do a lot better against the Colts. They did not. The defensive issues are still there. It's not the same defense we saw last year. And of course, as much as people like to make fun of Tua, Jacoby Brissett is a definite downgrade, and he will be out there again this Sunday. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a very depleted secondary, but against Brissett, does that even matter? What do you think, Tyler?
I don't really think it matters because he's not going to take any shots down the field. He never does.
Yeah.
They're just going to pin their ears back and chase him out of the pocket. His interception prop is -110. I don't hate that. I think he throws one tomorrow or Sunday. The receiving yards props on the Tampa Bay side, we've seen Evans have a game this year. We've seen AB. We haven't seen Godwin really explode. And his yards are set at 63.5. I think he could go over that.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside of that, maybe Tampa Bay's defense to score a touchdown. Because I could definitely see them picking up a fumble or picking that off and taking it to the house. And they're plus 360 on that defensive touchdown.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, too, because no one's been able to run against Tampa. they have probably the best.
I don't think Myles Gaskins is that guy.
Yeah, I don't think that offensive line are those guys either. So, right, I think you could put Nick Chubb behind that line, and they'd still struggle against this Tampa defensive line. So, yeah, a little bit disappointing for Miami. Talked about on a different show that I think the two teams that we overrated the most we had football team too high, and we had the Dolphins too high, I think, going into the season. So that was the biggest one. The ones we underrated, I think, are the Bengals and the Cowboys for me personally. So it'd be interesting to see how that turns up, and if Tua gets back, or if they trade for Deshaun Watson, or all the different things that could possibly go on here. Let me get to our next game. The Green Bay Packers heading to the aforementioned Cincinnati Bengals, who I underrated, but I don't care. I'm fading them again. I took the Packers -3. Tyler, where are the winning props?
I mean, this one, of course, you want to go to Davante Adams against his defense, because they should just be able to throw all day on him. I don't hate that. I don't hate Randall Cobb over 38.5.
But what is the Adams number you want me to put in there?
91. I don't hate the Randall Cobb one, because he's going to play a lot of the slot without a Scantling out. And he drew like 5 or 6 targets last week. Went for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns. And another one I like, they have A.J. Dillon's rushing yards set at 28.5 and Aaron Jones set at 60. Well, they basically split carries last week, 15 and 15.
Yeah.
And A.J. Dillon went for about 50 more yards. And Aaron Jones was limited all week in practice against you. Got to think they lean on him some more. You're basically getting a 30-yard discount.
So Dillon what?
Over 28.5.
Rushing or receiving yards?
Rushing yards.
I like that too. One concern though, do you think that the Cincinnati rushing defense is better than the pass defense?
I think it is, but if Green Bay has the lead, they're still going to run the ball.
And they're going to have the lead. How do you think that on the other side, how do you think that Joe Burrow and these young wide receivers do against the Green Bay squad that will most likely be missing Jair Alexander?
No, I mean, he can only cover one of the 3, so the other 2 we're going to eat anyway. But now all 3 of them should just have days.
Yeah, I know. So I already bet this Packers game, okay? So I already got the ticket. Should I be worried with no Alexander in there?
Nah, a little bit. They might not be able to stop anything. This might be the game of who has the ball last.
Yeah. So do you like the over here? The total is 50.
I mean, I got to know if Mixon's playing first, because if Mixon's in, he could slow the clock down for Cincy.
Who's the backup if he doesn't?
Samaj P. Ryan.
Oh, that guy that was in Washington that's not very good at all.
Yep.
He's like he's like the epitome of like a 76 on Madden, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like okay to run your stuff, but yeah. All right, cool. Well, that's what we're looking. And that went, you like Davante Adams and A.J. Dillon, and I agree. So hopefully the Packers blow them out. Otherwise the Bengals are gonna, make me eat my words once again. Here's one that I bet, Tyler, against your team, and I'm hoping Bridgewater plays. I'm gambling. He was out there today though, and the line moves, so I think that he's gonna play. If he doesn't, I'm a little worried about my bet. But that's the Broncos heading to the Steelers. I got it at pick. I saw Steelers -1, but I think it's up to Broncos minus. Where is it? -1.
So Broncos -1. So it just flipped.
Yeah, it flipped off that Bridgewater being out in practice today. First of all, what do you think of my pick? And then go ahead and give me some winning props.
I mean, I don't hate it. I just need to know if he's going to be in there for sure. I don't want to gamble with him.
So let's assume that Bridgewater plays, because I made the bet thinking that he plays, and I figured that the line will move, right? So I was just trying to get CLV or whatever by getting in that line early. So let's say I'm right. Do you like the pick if Bridgewater's out there?
Yeah, I think they win the game. I mean, it's basically all they have to do at -1.
Yeah, Drew Lock, not so much,
Yeah. I mean, looking at this game, no real prop looks from this one. This could be a real low-scoring game.
What's Ben's yardage prop?
Let me pull it up. 250.
Is there any chance? Is there any chance that Ben gets pulled?
They're pulling. The only way he leaves the game is if he gets hurt.
Yeah, Denver can hurt him too.
He's getting Eli Manning treatment. It's just stay out there as long as you want. Bury your legacy. We're not going to take you out unless you get hurt.
That's wild. That's one thing I wouldn't expect from Tomlin. I think Tomlin would be a little more no nonsense than that. The other thing, though, is my guess is it's not like Rudolph or Haskins are lighting up in practice, right? So it's not like his teammates, right, are sitting there like, boy, if we only had the other guy in there, they're probably like, well, still the best option, right? So, what do you think if I were to take that Big Ben under? I mean, obviously it correlates.
I mean, I don't hate it, but it's 250.5. He could easily sneak up over that if they're getting blown out and he's just throwing the ball the whole game.
Jumping down to Najee.
Yep. That's my only worry there. Because he's still throwing the ball a lot, but it's all dump off. So if somebody houses one, you're in trouble.
Yeah. All right. Well, I might look at that, but if you say stay off, if Twatty's still in the chat, I'll love to hear what he thinks. He's pretty on point when it comes to the Steelers. My team now, we just talked about your team. Let's talk about my team. Laying 5.5. They're playing the Las Vegas Raiders, are hosting the Chicago Bears. Tyler, early in the year, I said, after the Raiders blew the cover against the Dolphins, I said, I'm not going to back the Raiders and John Gruden is a favorite. By instituting this new rule, have I left money on the table with this Bears game, which arguably, we talked about how bad Miami's offensive line is. I think Chicago's might be as bad or worse.
Your team's like second in pass rush and third in like pass defense.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it makes sense though if you look at like who we played though, right?
Yeah, that was the first argument brought up was their schedule.
Yeah, I mean, other than the Chargers, we haven't really played a good passing team yet.
Yeah, that is true. And I mean, this isn't one, that's for sure. But one thing Fields does do is he throws the ball at Darnell Mooney a ton.
And that guy's by far, like, he's talented.
Yeah, he's plus 240 to score a touchdown on Sunday. I don't hate that as a shot for this game.
All right.
Yeah, outside of that, though, nothing else in this game. Because this could be one of them ones where you see Max Crosby and them guys just chasing Justin Fields around. Mm-hmm. And then Gruden's running his 80-style offense to where, like, the only prop that would hit in this game would be, like, Josh Jacobs rushing attempts.
And even then, Jacobs isn't 100% right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's really going to get, oh, wow, big hit there in the Astros game. I don't think he's going to get a lot of run. The only one on the Raiders side that I would target would be either the Waller over receptions because his targets should be ridiculous, although they have died down after that 19 target week one. And then also I do think that Renfro over on catches because he's getting all the looks on third down. And then Ruggs maybe over on yards because they're putting between like 40 and 60, right?
Yeah, I see 4.5 minus 110 on Renfro's receptions.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, that'll be out to minus 130 by the time they kick.
Waller's 5.5 minus 145.
I'm not laying that juice, so throw that one off.
And Henry Ruggs is 46.5 on the yards.
He only runs fly routes.
Yeah, he's only going to catch the ball. That was like when they hung the 20.5 on Deshaun Jackson last night. It's like, well,
yeah. You're basically betting over 0.5 receptions.
He's not catching across the middle.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'd run like a screen for him and you wouldn't get there. But yeah, I like the Ruggs. I like the Ruggs and the Renfro. Waller, they've juiced us out. I hate when they do that too because they know that we're all going to bet it.
Yeah.
So they said rather than put up like a high number that might actually go under, we're just going to
jump it up to 6.5 and give the plus money.
Yeah, and if you can do that. I don't hate that. We'd have to look at the Bears against tight ends. I don't think it's been that good, but I don't think it's like, a huge weakness or anything that we need to exploit. Let's talk about a team that I've anointed your team, even though they're not. I figured all your buddies, I was thinking about this today while I was driving around doing my errands before the show. I said,
can I get some slack here? The guy's got a torn labor in him in his shoulder. Like, you're giving me shit about him throwing the ball.
All right, we'll give you some slack. But I was thinking it must be pretty funny. All your buddies will probably get off, call you, why does this guy think you're a Browns fan? You're a Steelers fan. So, all right, I'm taking the Chargers here, though. I'm laying the 1 point. Some issues that I have are so the Chargers' offensive line's been really good, according to PFF, right? All except for their right tackle. So they all grade way above average.
What they're doing this week.
Myles Garrett, right?
Yep. Eat him alive. Go whatever. Yeah. Go. You're switching sides this game. You're going over there. You're mauling him, and you're forcing them to change something.
So obviously, I've just told you how my pick could possibly lose, and that's my main concern. But I still made the pick. I still placed the bet. It's already in my pocket. What do you think, Tyler? Am I gonna end up regretting this bet?
I mean, I think his game could go either way.
Yeah.
The total at 47, I kind of want to lean under, but at the same time, I can see both offenses just going up and down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to be much money in this game for me because I just don't want to get too much money exposed into this game. With it being, you could watch offenses explode or you could watch defenses just clamp down. But I don't think the Chargers can be able to run the ball very well. Eckler's yards are set at 55.5. I'd probably go under there. And then,
I agree with you because his main thing is a pass catcher.
Well, that and plus, I mean, he did break some runs against the Raiders last week, but
Yeah.
I think this defensive front's a bit better.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's really comparable against Cleveland. So
Like,
Eckler under what?
51.5? Yeah, 55.5. Like, I know it was Minnesota last week, and they're not the best team, but holding that offense to 7 points is pretty impressive. Like, they have a ton of weapons.
What do you make of that? Is that the labrum? Is that the? I wonder how much missing Jarvis Landry hurts Baker.
I think it's part of both. I think it's the labrum and the missing Jarvis Landry.
Right, because he runs the routes that Baker likes, right? Like, I don't think that Odell fits that well with him. I just struggled to see Baker getting the ball down there to him a couple times, especially if he's playing through an injury. Whereas Landry, it's all those timing routes, those precision routes.
Yeah,
and that's where Baker excels.
All the shorter routes for him.
Short, accurate. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know another team in the NFL that could have had their quarterback play that bad on a Sunday, and they still come out with a touchdown victory because their defense just straight jacketed the other team, and they were like, "You're not doing anything."
I think after the first drive, I don't think Minnesota made it to the red zone the rest of the game.
No, they got that first scripted drive right down the field.
It
took them like 8 minutes to get down there, and they never got back down there again.
I mean, can you imagine putting all that salary cap into Kirk Cousins?
I think it comes off next year.
But here's my thing: he's really not that bad until you take the price tag into account. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if he's just your quarterback and he's not eating up all that salary space, then you're fine. But when you're not signing linebackers and defensive linemen and offensive linemen because he's eating so much of your cap up, I think that's where the issue with this Vikings team is. So I like the Chargers. You're staying away. I agree with you on Eckler. It's funny, but I would like his over on receiving. I think he's going to get a lot of dump offs.
I don't hate that. My only worry there is these Browns have some fast linebackers that can play in coverage. They might just be chasing him down before he can even get upfield.
I'm just thinking Herbert's going to have to check down so often. If they know the blitz is coming or they know the pressure's coming, they're going to use screens to offset it. I mean, I guess it really comes down to, do you think that Cleveland gets pressure with just 4?
I think they can. I mean, I think they can get pressure with 1. His name's Myles Garrett.
Guy's just a stud, huh?
They triple teamed him last week. He threw all 3 people out of the way and tackled Kirk Cousins. Like, good luck.
Yeah. It's just unbelievable what that guy's doing, right? I mean, he's like what I thought Khalil Mack was going to end up being. Just what a great player he is out there. The New York Giants are heading to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. This line is 7 or 7.5, depending on if you're going on a sharp book or a paperhead. I'm seeing 7 on Bookmaker right now. I said before, I've completely underrated the Cowboys, so I'm not going to bet against them for a little while. So, hey, maybe McCarthy knows what he's doing. I always knew Dak was good. I just didn't think he would come back from the injury that well. And this defense, I think, is what I was really wrong about. I think they're getting the stops. We knew they were going to put up points. But if they're able to defend, they're going to win and cover. So that's why I'm not getting involved with the Giants here. What did you think of the side? Am I leaving money on the table? And after that, give us the winners.
I think Dallas smashes them here. Giants off that big win against the Saints in New Orleans. Like, they were riding high going into the overtime of that game. Then they pull off the win. Now they're definitely riding high on themselves. I think Dallas just steamrolls them here.
Okay. So do you have props that are going to correlate?
I think CeeDee Lamb goes off in this game. I mean, we've seen him kind of go quiet the last few games. Now you're getting a 67.5 on his receiving yards. I think he blows that out of the water. I think he gets in the end zone also at plus 125. And then with this game being likely a blowout in my eyes, I don't hate taking Saquon over his receiving yards at 33.5. Because he'll be dumping off a lot to him.
What do you think of Saquon? You know, everyone was ready to write him off, say he's the worst running back in the league, and then he was pretty good last week.
I mean, I still don't know if he's like everyone went to pencil him as being like the best running back in the league, and it's like no.
I was ready to after his rookie year. Oh man, I was guilty. I plead guilty there.
Yeah, I never seen it, but and he's a good back, but the numbers everyone expected him to put up just aren't there. Like when he came into the league, he was supposed to put Zeke to shame. Well, Zeke is a rookie and Saquon is a rookie. I'm taking Zeke 100 times out of 100.
Yeah, I mean, the sad part is if you factor in pass blocking, you have to. Because Zeke is one of the best pass blockers in the league, and Saquon's one of the absolute worst. So, see if that'll be an issue against this Dallas defense. That they're so good, they didn't even need Jalen Smith anymore. So
yeah, they were just like, you could go.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how he turns out. All right, yeah, I'm fine staying away after this game, but I definitely lean toward in our run pro pick and pull. I'll take the Cowboys, but I'm not gonna back it. Here's a game that I did back with my money though. Tickets in my pocket. We'll see, man. We'll see. Talking about teams I underestimate. The San Francisco 49ers are catching 6 down in Arizona. My idea here is it's a huge letdown spot for the Cardinals coming off that big win over the Rams. I think the 49ers match up well. I think they keep it close. You're giving me 6 in a division game with a solid team. I mean, you thought that before the injuries happened, these Niners had a serious chance to be a Super Bowl contender. Take out the Super Bowl, they're still a really good football team, even with the injuries. I think they keep it close. I think they're covering the 6. What do you think of my pick? And then give us the winners on the props.
You said you think Arizona's covering the 6 here?
No, I think that San Francisco covers the 6. I think they keep it close.
We're on the same page here then.
Okay.
I think they keep it close. I think because this is going to be the Trey Lance coming out game. He's going to start. There is no Jimmy G this week.
Right.
So it's kind of like a mystery to what the Cardinals are going to have to defend here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't see a rushing prop listed for him yet. I want all of that. The dude's he's not scared to tuck and run the ball. He's going to run it. His touchdown prop is plus 185. I don't hate that because they've shown when they get down there near the goal line, they'll run that read option and he'll keep it and run it in.
So you want Lance? What's the number on that?
Anytime touchdown plus 185. And then I'll be on his rushing yards once I get a number for it. I just don't have a number for it yet on FanDuel or DraftKings.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a fun game. And I think once Lance gets in there, I think they're gonna have a hard time going back. He seems to be the future. Let's swing for the fences.
One other prop. I already have this one posted on the website.
Okay.
DeAndre Hopkins over his receiving yards. We got in early. We got 72.5. It's up to 76. He hasn't had that big explosion game yet this year. San Fran's got a bad secondary, and this could be one of them games where they're just up and down the field. He's torched his team before in the past. I think he does it again right here. I think he shows up and has that first big game of the year.
All right.
You figure he was dealing with injury the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, you really seen the injury hinder him. Last week, they played the Rams, so he had Ramsey on him. Well, I think this week is when he finally bounces back, and you're getting a discount on that number after 2 short weeks.
All right. I like both those looks. So let's hope the Niners can keep it close, give us a nice, exciting afternoon game there. The Buffalo Bills are playing the Kansas City Chiefs. I like the Chiefs minus 2.5, and I'm trying to remember. Were you opposite with me on that one, or did you like the Chiefs too?
No, I like the Chiefs too.
All right, so we both like the Chiefs. Did you have some winners on the prop market that correlate to our Chiefs victory?
I mean, looking at it, I think he's still got to get some of these other guys involved outside of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So maybe going right back to like a DeMarcus Robinson touchdown. I see plus 600 on FanDuel. I don't hate that. Outside of that, I mean, maybe we get in on Clyde Edwards-Helaire's rushing yards, but it's up to 53.5. So I really don't want to play with that. If it was a little shorter, maybe. And then Mahomes over 16.5 rushing yards. Because we've seen in these close games where he'll use his legs when they leave him wide open to run. So I don't think he'll be afraid to run for a few here.
All right. Oh, man, I was typing it. It wasn't going in there. Putting the Mahomes in there right now. All right. Well, that should be an exciting night. Those are the winners right there. Um, pretty good show, Tyler. We're getting a little quicker at this. We're getting everyone the information. We're getting the winners. I think, and we're doing a good job, switching from the Tuesday to the Friday. Speaking of the Tuesday, though, was there any games that you had picked on Tuesday that you might have flipped because of injury news or you're off of now?
No, not really. I mean, everything stayed the same. The only thing I was worried about was maybe Jimmy G went out and was a statue because of his calf, but he's not going to be there, so you don't have to worry about
that. Yeah. So, all right. Well, this is a lot of fun. You loaded up my thing here. That's why I put him in the chat because I was trying to bet him, the first episode we did, and I just couldn't keep up. So I get to put all these in right now. And I appreciate you hanging out, Tyler. And we're going to be back, and we're going to be double duty here in a couple weeks here, right? As the NBA keeps getting closer. I think it's 10 days away from starting. So, no, 11. I wrote an article for tomorrow. So that's where I got the 10
19th.
from. But yeah, so that's going to be fantastic. We're going to be double dipping. Your props have been fantastic. Just wanted to thank you for all the hard work you're doing. And I want to thank everyone for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and head on over to runpurebets.com. Use the promo code BETS25 off to join the team, get access to the Discord, all of Tyler's plays, the Keg Live show, JJ's plays, Joey Works plays, and of course, any shows that we do behind the paywall. We appreciate you guys watching. We need you. We need to hang out. And yes, Big T, I'll be reaching out. We definitely need some of that
T's
good mojo.
Come on a show again.
Yeah, I mean the NBA mojo that he brings. I mean any sport, but really, we love having him on for NBA. So Big T, we will be reaching out to you as well, and that'll be a lot of fun. So thank you everybody for joining, and run pure.